Welcome back. Just a little side note, I have my headset in. It looks a little weird, maybe you don't even care. But my neighbor isn't, or my office neighbor isn't in the office, but her phone has been ringing for an hour straight. And I'm close to going crazy. That's why I have these headset on, so that I can focus on recording. So let's keep going. In this video, we're going to look at how we can get the index of an item inside of a for loop. Okay, so maybe we want to modify the index of an item in the list, or we want to get access to the index to do something else with it. Well, in such a situation, what we would do is we would go ahead and say item in 0 until. So instead of using the list directly, we say we start at 0 and we go until the shopping list dot size. So what is shopping list dot size? Well, shopping list dot size gives us the amount of items that are inside of that list. So in our example of shopping list, we should have 4 items at this point. So let me just print that out. Println shopping list dot size, so that you can see what I mean. And let's also get rid of this code here, otherwise it will break our program, because now it's not using the items directly from the list anymore, which is why we got this error here, where it cannot compare item directly to rem. But let's just print this thing out here first and see also what the items are. So let me run it. And you can see now 4 is what we get here. So shopping list dot size is 4. So there are 4 items inside of our shopping list, which is why shopping list dot size is 4. So this just returns the integer of items that are inside of a list. So then we go through this for loop and we print each item out. So now that we have a different approach, we say item in 0 until shopping list dot size. What we get is not the items itself from the shopping list, but what we do get instead are the numbers. So the indexes, you could say. So now we get the index 0 to 3, which are the indexes of the list, because the list starts, or any given list starts at 0 and goes index 1 by 1. So whenever you delete an item at a given point inside of a list, the indexes of the upcoming items are moving. So basically there is no empty index inside of a mutable list, except for if the entire list is empty. Okay, so it cannot be in between, so to speak. All right, so now what we can do is we can actually use that in order to display not only the index, but also use the shopping list item. So what this really is, it's not the item inside of shopping list, but what it is index inside of shopping list. So what we can now print out is, we can print out something like item dollar, then curly brackets shopping list at position of index is at index, and then the actual index. So there's a lot going on in this line, and I'm going to explain it to you once we run the code. So we see item processor is at index 0, item cooling system is at index 1, item RAM is at index 2, and item graphics card is at index 3. So what we did here is we used this for loop to go through the item amounts of our list to get the index, and to then display the index for each of the items while also displaying the items. So that's what this print line statement does, is it gives us the item and it gives us the shopping list at a particular position. So it's the same thing as we have seen before here. For example, this is the shopping list at 3. Now 3 is a number, right? And index inside of our for loop is also just a number, because what we do here with this for loop is we actually just say the same thing as if I had a for loop. Let me just add that real quick here. As if I had a for loop that goes from 0 until 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Okay, that's the thing. Like there's Actually, it should be 4, not 3, because there's the less than sign. So it's not less equal sign. That's why we have to add 4, because it's 4 items, but the index 4 in this case, or the number 4, is not included anymore, which is why I have to add the 4 here. So you see here, this little gray arrow with an underlined line is basically saying less than equal. So this includes 0 and underneath. And then until less than. So until less than whatever we have in here. And because the size, when calculating sizes, we don't calculate 0 as being a size, so to speak. As soon as there is an item, we have 1. So we start counting at 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 items inside the list, which is why the index goes from 0 until 4 and 4 excluded. All right. And that is... No, the phone is still ringing. I thought the phone ringing was gone. Holy moly, it's still there. So that is what we can do with this for loop index approach, which allows us to just know at which position something is, and this gives us the power to modify the list. This now allows us to access every single item via its index with a for loop. So in most cases we won't need that, but it's just for you to know at the moment when we will use it that you will not be confused. So there is just another way, a third way of using a for loop, and that is instead of using 0 until 4, we can also in 0 dot dot 4. So that's, you see there with this dot dot, the 4 is included. So we would have to use 3 if we just have 4 items included, because the 0 is included, 1, 2, 3, so 4 items. So you see that with this arrow with an underline, that's what this dot dot does. It gives us a range. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you for this video. In the next one, we are actually going to start with our bank account program, because we are ready. We are ready for a bank account program. We know how for loops work. We know how lists work. And actually, there's one last thing that I want to show you, and that is that lists have a certain type. All right, so see you in the next video.